Hi, thanks for watching my video about my Juwel Reef Aquarium sump conversion. Plan to do probably 3 or 4 parts about this conversion. First one, this being what I've bought to do the conversion. Second one, the conversion taking place. A third and a fourth on how the tank looks after the conversion's taken place and how the corals and fish are doing. Firstly, I wanted to do a sump conversion because I was just fed up with all the amount of stuff that was in the tank, and the other reason would be the green hair algae that is currently on the rocks and things like that. And unfortunately that's come from not changing my filters on my RO, and as a consequence that's what's happened. So the first thing I've done was stop using my RO water, and I've bought it from the shops instead, and my filters should be arriving tomorrow so I can start producing clean RO water again. To help combat the green hair algae, also in my mechanical filter down here, this 106, I'm using some Rio frosh, and I've got 125 grams of the Rio frosh in there, and that's been in there for about a week to try and bring down the levels and kill off the green hair algae. I'm using that with this surface skimmer. The reason why I'm using the surface skimmer on that mechanical is it's pulling water from the upper column and the middle of the water column, so it's good for having carbon in there and things like that when you're putting your hands in, and it removes a lot of stuff by the carbon. The other thing I've got on my tank is I've got a 205 fluval filter and a 106 filter behind that, and I'm using bio rings in there, and also I've got the internal Juwel filter which will be coming out when I do the sump conversion, and that's mainly got the standard stuff that comes in them Juwel filters, the nitrate sponges, polywall, carbon, stuff like that. I'm also using a couple of UV filters as well. I've got 2 UV filters, one there and one there, and I'm using the 2 because the other one was too large and I couldn't fit it inside the cabinets. So the aquarium itself, I've got various corals, soft corals, hard corals, nice tongue there, some bubbles, things like that, some pulsing zanias, montes, candy canes, trumpets, things like that, and they're all doing quite well. There's a nice maze as well, and the lighting I'm using is LED lighting. These are beta LED lights. I bought these a little while out after LEDs came out. They're quite a good light, but I will upgrade them, which I'll come on to shortly, the lighting that I'm going to upgrade to. I'm using sand bed filter, things like that, and I'm also using a D&D reactor with some biopearls in. You might notice that I haven't got a skimmer on at the moment, and that's because the skimmer is actually outside, and I'm currently cleaning it. What I've used is some vinegar, white vinegar, and a barrel of water to loosen up all the coralline algae and the green hair algae that's accumulated in there. I'll leave that in there for a couple of days to really clean that out. Also, I don't have a chiller. Currently the temperature is running at 26.8. What I am using though, as you can see on top, is an air conditioning unit above the tank, which keeps the room cool, and I've got the condenser outside to take out any excess water, and also use a humidifier down here because there was a little bit of tank sweat during the night, so that sucks up any moisture in the air. So the lighting that I'm going to switch to is actually the Kessel lighting. I have one currently on my discus tank, and it's a great light. You can see it's got a great shimmering effect, as you can see. So I've decided, after I've tested this one now for quite a few months, that I'm going to move over to marine Kessels as well. And it hangs on the gooseneck there, so you can get some good angles on how you want to keep your lights. So that's mainly what I'm running on my tank at the moment. So what I've bought, the bits I've bought for my sump conversion. The sump isn't here at the moment, it comes tomorrow. It's a 3-foot sump, and that's already been made, set for Miracle Mud. I was going to use the Eco Miracle Mud, but I've bought this one, which is the mineral mud. I've also bought some extra biopearls to top up the reactor, some carbon as well, and some triple buffer as well to pull up pH if needed. I've got some more frost there. There's 125 grams left in that, which I'll also use to help bring down any remaining frost rates. I've got a sump sock. This one's quite a wide meshed one. The reason why I went for a wider mesh than the other is because I had a feeling that there was going to be quite a few particles in the water column once it comes down, and I'll be cleaning a thick sock out quite a lot for the next few days for certain. But what I will use is some Juwel polywool in there, which I've got left from my Juwel filter, to bring out any big particles. So the other bits I've got, I've bought a couple of brand new UV bulbs. I've got a couple of Fluval T5 lights. This one's a blue and white mix and a white mix, plain white there. I'm going to use that on the sump to grow my cheetah, which I've got currently in my net here in the tank. I've bought an outflow pipe. I've got an auto top up, which is going to be vital with my sump, because what I plan to use is an overflow box. This is the one I've purchased. It's set for 1200 litres, and I've bought the second pipe here as well, so that will bring it up to 1500 litres. It's quite a good overflow box, as you can see. It hangs over 80 millimeters over the tank, which is quite vital on a dual tank because you've got quite a large lip, as you can see on the tank. And I may well have to bring it down a little bit more. There is a cutout already here, which Juwel already done to put in any piping, things like that, so I may well extend that out so I can get deeper with the overflow box. The return pump I'm using, the Compact there 2000, and that has got a 1000 to 2000 litre an hour turnover, and that's also got a valve on there so you can regulate how much you're pumping back into the tank. Coral sand, I bought the Red Sea. This is Reef Pink. It's got a pink tinge to the coral sand, but it is quite expensive, so I'll only be using that at the front of the tank, and some of this coral sand will be going into the refrigerant of the sump, and I'll be, as I say, just use that coral sand on the front. I've got a number of barrels ready set up. Salt level's 125 on that, and I will have more barrels because I'm going to be doing quite a large water change. Also got a box of bits and bobs that I may well use as hangers, pipes, things like that, that may come in handy during the sump conversion. So that's what I'm using at the moment for my tank. And as I say, the sump will come tomorrow, and I plan to do the conversion on Monday, and I'll do a video then of how we're taking the stand apart, how we're going to fit in the sump, and things like that, how we're going to clean the rocks. I've got a number of brushes here that I'm going to be using to clean the rocks, some gloves as well to protect your hands because it can get quite painful after a while. So hopefully see you on the next video. Cheers.